Two friends meet up to drink some beers and talk about past times. Not yesterday, but long ago, it's scandals, wars, and crimes. From Stalin's reign to Prohibition, Tudors, Pompey, Bush, and NASA's mission, Edison's bulk, Genghis Khan's rise to victory. Forget your old teacher, it's time for Pint-Sized history.
You come to me on part 2 of our episode about the mafia and also the day of my daughter's wedding.
Come,
No, go on, show me out.
come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. No, that's not good. That's not
It's
good.
not good.
I did a good one before I left the house today.
No,
I did
how
a really
often
good
are you
one.
doing
No,
these
I was-
fucking? You're just like
You come
constantly.
to me
Poor
on the
Carrie.
day. You come to me on the day of my daughter's
Oh,
wedding.
fuck off.
Come
You,
here.
you fucking Carrie says this every day where you're just like, is this good? I want to put it on the pod. Is this good? You come to me.
You asked me to do something I can't refuse. You're my friend. When have I ever asked you to do anything for me? That's not bad. That's
Look how they
not
massacred my boy.
my boy.
That's,
Look how they massacred my boy.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Because we're here and we're ready to continue talking about the mafia.
Yes,
and
we
you know
are.
what's funny? Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. There you go.
Very good.
We're back for part 2 of the podcast, and as always, Crate. We love you, Crate. They supply us with beers each episode, and we're very appreciative. So thank you very much. You know the code. It's PINTSIZED15. Enjoy with this episode because we're going to get stuck right back into it. Zach?
That was probably the crispest anyone's ever heard someone say pint-sized 15 watching this podcast.
Yeah,
It's because
probably.
I'm not saying it.
At least you're self-aware.
Yes, welcome back to the episode of The Mafia, part 2 of 2. In part 1, we talked about the structures and the origins and the formation of the Mafia, how the mob basically dominate the criminal underworld of America at this point in time. And we're getting to the 1930s, the late 1920s now, and we're seeing the developments of Prohibition and how the mob will now go from being this like sort of, I guess, localized project to being this intense national force.
Yep.
And that's what we're going for. We left off at Al Capone, who briefly, just to recap, was the boss of the Chicago outfit from 1925 to 1931. Actually, 1933, but he was in jail in 1931. So I think he was made acting boss. But he made over $100 million alone. Which
Today's currency.
Today's cash is $2 billion.
Oh, wow. So
That's how much
100
money he
million
made.
in that time period.
Yeah, inflation
Wow.
is fucked.
I get it. I get the inflation. I just didn't believe it was that big a number at that point. That's an unbelievable sum.
Yeah, one of those richest people.
Sorry, how much? 2 billion?
That's what I read online.
Al Capone was a billionaire in 1920s.
I guess probably what it is. What it
Are you
is
sure?
probably
That's
they
huge.
probably take the net worth of like the assets of the Chicago firm, and they probably got like all the distributions and all the speakeasies and all the stuff they were doing, like how much were they worth, all the protection rackets. I reckon that's probably about $2 billion.
Bloody hell.
But they're massive companies. They're basically companies by this point, and they are cornering a market that is like, it is only their market. It's a black market.
It's an East India Trading Company all over again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, very true. Well, it's not trillions, is it?
Top 5 organized crime. East India Trading Company. Nazi brown shirts. Fucking Al Capone.
Medellin cartel.
Oh,
Pablo Escobar.
yeah, cartel with what's his name?
So I merely introduced him at the end of part 1 because I felt I needed to. Because
Al Capone.
we're leaving Al Capone
Oh.
just for a second.
All right.
Because we need to get back to the Prohibition. Because I don't want to understate it, but
Whoa,
it is.
the whiplash. Whoa.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
my chronology is
Oh
all
my
over the place.
God.
But it's going crazy. It's going crazy in the
Yeah.
American criminal underworld.
Okay.
Italian mafia families are coming to dominate the bootlegging industry.
Yeah.
Violence is spreading out all over the country as they fight for control over the next 10 years with their Irish counterparts and other Italian gangs. They battle for supremacy and the money. They're not yet a tied, unified force yet. So there's fighting and killings, Italian on Italian, Italian on Irish, but maybe some Jews involved there as well. Who knows? Maybe the Russians.
What percentage of organized crime, mafias, etc., worldwide are Catholic?
Oh, well, Christian.
Well, Christian, obviously the majority.
Christian
because it's mostly from Europe.
99% of them, yeah.
You know, there's obviously the Japanese and the Jewish and some cartels and stuff. But the point is,
The triads are pretty big.
in terms of organized crime, it just does feel like the Catholics really hold a, you know, they're the
Well,
goats.
it's because
They're the Erling
hang on,
Haalands.
do you know what the biggest organized
And-
crime is? Catholic Church.
I mean, yeah, that's also true.
What's it called? Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't pretend to be one of us.
Why can't I be one of you?
You don't see me going.
Us Jews are facing enough hardship,
you
man.
don't see me going L'chaim.
Yeah, you do all the time. Muzzle stop.
It's a fun word.
So back to the Prohibition. These wars are happening in New York City. Frankie Yale wages war on the Irish White Hand Gang, and the Genovese family wage war on the Bonanno family. in the Castellammarese War. I think I pronounced that
It sounded
on
all
the
right.
money. I'll show you.
Let's have a look.
Castellammarese.
Oh, I see. Castellammarese. Yeah, Castellammarese. I mean, I don't. Castello is castle.
I think it's probably Castellamare is a place.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I don't think I pronounced that perfect, but I do think you were actually you were pretty good there.
Yeah, I got told when I went to Austria that
Oh.
my Deutsch, meine Deutsche, sounds.
Is this why you do fucking impressions and accents all the time? Is
What?
that you're like, oh god, you speak one word of German in Austria and they go, wow, mein Freund, that is a great accent.
You sound like you're
It
you're
is a
Deutsch.
good accent, and now you just say it all the time.
Yeah.
Has Bede said you have a good accent in Italian? My fiance.
I think I've said a couple words. She's been like, perfect.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So that's why now you feel confident to say, I think I've nailed that each time.
Castellammarese. No, I don't know.
No,
That's Spanish,
that's
isn't
Spanish.
it? And the reason why I introduced Al Capone is because this war is happening in New York and it's all going crazy across the country. But something really, really crazy is about to go down in Chicago.
Okay.
What's about to happen in Chicago, Joe?
Is this the Valentine's Day Massacre?
This is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Do you know much about
Legendary.
it? Do you feel like you could recite what happens in it for our podcast? Today?
I think, I mean, you're just going to tell me I'm wrong, but I believe...
I'll let you give it a go, and then I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Well, what I think happened was they were in a garage.
Yep, very nice.
Basically, it was a rival gang.
Yep.
And
Irish.
They were a rival gang, and there were 17?
7.
7, that's right. Okay, 7. So there's 7 of them with their hands against the wall. And usually this type of mob violence ends there. They go, pack your bags, you're fucked, and maybe beat them up or something. But in this moment, they, I don't know if it's the red goes over their eyes and they think, fuck it, let's just kill them all. But they shoot them all, and it's in fairly broad daylight, which basically means that there's witnesses. And it basically becomes a huge scandal. It goes in the news. It turns out Al Capone is the thug that everyone thought he was, because on paper, people in the streets thought he was actually a philanthropist who would help and be at baseball games, like you said in the previous episode, and be a nice guy and help, give to the poor and stuff. And in reality, he is actually just part of a mob that have just massacred a different mob in front of people's eyes.
You're absolutely spot on.
Okay.
I'll go into a bit more detail, but yeah, in an attempt to assassinate a huge rival of his, George Bugs Moran, he's the Irish boss of the Northside Gang. He commits a massacre. Bugs receives a tip on February 13th about a truckload of hijacked whiskey for sale.
Yep.
Tells the caller to deliver it to this garage that you said in Lincoln Park. The next day on Valentine's Day, 7 members of the Northside Gang are waiting for their boss Bugs to turn up at the garage to complete this deal. Suddenly, outside a black Cadillac, or it really should be like a Cadillac or something like that, Cadillac pulls up outside the garage with 5 men inside, 2 in the front with police uniforms and 3 in the back with civilian clothes, carrying Thompson machine guns and sawed-off shotguns. The men inside the garage are forced to line up against the wall, presumably under the guise of being arrested, as apparently some had their hands behind their head or against the wall, like you said.
Yep.
After they were lined up, they were then sprayed down. 70 rounds were fired from the machine guns on the first volley, and they were finished off with sawed-off shotguns.
Really brutal.
One survived and crawled like 20 feet to let them know that he was this happened.
Wow.
And apparently the police got to him, or some members of the public got to him. They're like, "Who did this?" And he was like, "I don't know who did this." Obviously, like the code of silence.
Yeah.
Which even exists among the Irish gangs, which is still very impressive. This massacre blows up, like you said. Al Capone goes from being one of the most famous like people to being public enemy number 1.
Yeah, it completely changes his image.
Literally public enemy. There are like Chicago news outlets which have like tabloid headlines saying like public enemy number 1. But he's never charged with the crime, as he's in Florida at the time of it, so they can't link him with it. And when RICO comes about, it'll be far easier to link him to it. Yeah. But he is on the radar of the FBI, and the FBI do get him. And can you guess what the FBI eventually got Al Capone? Scarface, the architect of the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Something really small. Insurance fraud.
No, close. Very close. Not fraud. When you dodge something. When you go, wow.
Neo. Matrix.
Something to do with money. Something you pay every month.
Oh, so a tax mishap.
The start you went
Extortion?
evasion.
Tax evasion.
Oh, you got it. Well done. we'll cut around that because you got it first time.
Yeah. We're going to cut all around that so it looks like I'm really clever.
He's sentenced to 11 years in federal prison, and while in prison, he was diagnosed with syphilis and gonorrhea. He was stabbed in 1936, and the syphilis started moving to his brain after that, and he basically just lost all his mental faculties, and later died of a heart attack after, apparently, because you don't realize, obviously, you can treat syphilis with penicillin, but penicillin wasn't a thing until like 1940s. So he was just fucked, basically. Like, there's no treatment for this.
One of the unlucky ones.
Yeah.
Just before it.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame Al Capone is one of the unlucky ones.
Yeah.
The sheer, like, gore of it is something that really wakes up the public, and they're like, this is not okay.
I imagine in the newspapers you probably didn't see that level.
No, there are literally I don't know to what extent they were available in the day, but I imagine the threshold for gore back then was higher than it is now.
Yeah,
because I mean they've just seen World War One and World War Two.
But World War One, they're not going to show the gore from World War One. I mean, even the footage we have,
there's like dispatches and stuff like that.
Even the footage we have of World War One doesn't show much gore.
I don't know. I think like they'll be a bit less sensitive to it than we maybe are today, because it feels like. In peacetime,
I think the complete opposite.
You think?
Tenfold, yeah. Well, yeah, because government propaganda and silencing real news and trying to show your own message was way more of a thing back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and the message.
So they wouldn't have
trying to send. The FBI trying to send a message of this guy is an animal. He's a beast.
Yes, exactly.
Let's put the picture of the deceased.
Are we agreeing? Because I'm saying that in the 1920s they wouldn't have had much appetite for it in comparison to now, where we can, if you're on Reddit, you can see shit.
Yeah, I'm saying they have less appetite for it, but they're more likely to show it in the papers.
Oh no, I don't know. Either way, public are like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what the killing people? That ain't right. Not in America.
No, not
in my country.
This is America. So that's the end of Al Capone.
Bye.
Probably the most famous, really, really like
he must be.
Like uninteresting story for the most famous gangster of all time.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it quite funny, is that Al Capone, for all the incredibly ridiculous, extravagant, I mean, the numbers you said and how much money he made is crazy, but it's actually just tax evasion that he goes to prison, then he gets injuries in prison. That
I get the idea that he's maybe an imbecile.
I don't know.
You don't think so? You don't think you could get?
I don't think you can get that high up.
I think he's just
imbecile's a very strong word. If you'd said an idiot.
Yeah,
maybe I might have been like, but I get imbecile is very strong.
Yeah, I get the feeling that he is not the most intelligent person, but is like fucking ruthless
naturally,
and was a bouncer, so like really scary.
And you've got good instincts.
Maybe great instincts.
I don't think you need to be particularly clever.
You can't have great instincts to then think that killing people and sending people in broad day.
Intelligence is a help to someone that's working in organised crime, but I don't think you need it. I think you just need to have an instinct for what works and what doesn't.
But you say that, but then there are people here who do really well, who are clearly incredibly intelligent people.
Yeah.
Like there is.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think intelligence helps.
I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 people in a second who are like very clearly, really just probably geniuses. Like
geniuses.
Maybe not geniuses, but like really smart. And you're right, their intuitiveness, their like switched on thinking is probably like incredibly high. So around the early 1930s, attitudes within the mob begin to shift. You move away from this like old generation of honor and killings and rivalry and like blood for blood, less violence, less ego, more. This is a great business.
Yeah.
Let's make a shit ton of money here.
Yeah.
And you get this young group of mobsters like Lucky Luciano and the people he hangs around with, who think that their bosses, their olden bosses who are like 60, 70 years old, these old guns from like Sicily and Italy, they think they're hoarding too much wealth, and you get this like socialistic kind of reckoning from within the youngsters, the mob, who are thinking, we got to change the way this is all going. This is not.
You can see the end coming. I mean, in a way, it makes sense. There's so much wealth in America. It's not a zero-sum game. They don't need to make it a zero-sum game. They can, if they work together, they can easily both take, or all of them can take from this system.
Yeah, so that's the plan anyway.
It's actually quite clever.
But there's anyway, in the 1930s, there's still this chaos and disorder in the Italian mob. So in 1931, Salvatore Maranzano, who was the head of the Bonanno crime family, decides that New York should be split into 5 families, and he himself would be the capo di tutti I capi.
Yes, the
boss of all bosses. What a great idea. What do you think happens to him, Joe?
He's killed by one of the other bosses.
Oh, I'll leave you there with that thought.
Okay.
We're going to go talk about Lucky Luciano now. I'm purposely leaving you in the lurch on that one.
That's what I presume so.
So I'll talk to you a little bit about Lucky Luciano. Charles Lucky Luciano. He's probably the most, I would say, important mobster of all time. He was born in Sicily in 1897 as Salvatore Luciano, and he migrated to the US when he was 8 years old.
Is this who Vito Corleone is based on?
No.
Not that The Godfather is based on a true story. It's not. It's fictional.
You're saying 'cause he's 8 years old, right?
But an 8-year-old from Sicily that comes over and is one of the members of the 5 families, that is literally Vito Corleone's
essentially,
story.
so Vito Corleone is
So he must be inspired by it.
It's not like an unfamiliar story. Like, a lot of these mobsters will have come from Sicily.
Was Lucky Luciano an orphan? Or not? An orphan.
No.
Okay, well, there you go. There's one difference.
Okay, so he dropped out of school at 14 years old. He started his own gang as a teenager and then became a member of the 5 Points gang under our dear friend Paul Kelly. That's Francisco Paolo Vaccarelli.
I remember.
He started extorting Jewish youngsters, and that's where he met Meyer Lansky. And Meyer Lansky was a little Jewish kid, and he would not budge. And he was like, come on then. You gonna kill me?
No one's killing me.
He was basically Ross Kemp in the Queen.
I was going to say, we say that as reference all the time, but I'm not sure we've ever actually explained it. You could very quickly go to YouTube and go Ross Kemp. Where is he? Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
Ross Kemp, Papua New Guinea gang.
Tribal cartel or something
and he's
like
and he just basically, he just goes up to them because he's doing a documentary about the cartels and they point a gun at him and his crew and he just goes, "You gonna kill me? You gonna kill me? Nobody's killing me." And he like pushes the gun away. And we quote that in a few podcasts now, and I don't think we've ever actually explained why. I don't
think it's scripted, but it is like, it is maybe, if it's not scripted,
it's not scripted.
It is the coolest clip of all time.
It's definitely real.
It is so
you can see
sick.
It's not fake.
I don't think he's hard. I think the representation of him I get in extras.
He seems quite nice, yeah.
I think that's like the way I view him. But like the way he's just like so calm.
He just plays it very well. If you, in a situation like that, clearly strength is what they're looking for. And so they point the gun. They're trying to intimidate you, and Ross Kemp essentially just goes, "What? Are you going to kill me?" And he like moves the gun away, stands in front of them, and it's really impressive.
If I did it,
because it's all filmed.
If I did it as a 5'8" little
you
guy,
know who's the true genius there though? It's the cameraman who, despite having a gun at him, still tilts the camera so that you can see Ross Kemp doing it. That's a true fucking. This is content. I'm literally got a gun in my face, but this is content. I got to keep this going.
You're right. You're very right. And I think the part of it was they were trying to like rob them of their camera stuff. Like you
think that's why?
I think the story was behind it was that they were told when they go in there, like if they see your shit, they're going to try and steal it. So that's why they held them at gunpoint.
Anyway, sorry, that's a big diversion.
He's also like a 6 foot tall built guy. He's a built guy.
Is he that tall?
I don't think he's 6 foot tall, but he is like he is wide.
Yeah, he's not. He's
like
not
he
small.
is a chunky lad.
Great video though. I recommend. Seriously, go watch it now before we.
So Meyer Lansky, go back to him. Does do the you can kill me, and they become friends. They become great friends and associates.
This is anytime someone. I was about to give really bad advice.
Go on.
Anytime anyone's threatening your life, just go, "You gonna kill me? You gonna kill me?" Don't do that.
Charles Lucky Luciano was called Lucky because apparently he survived a throat slashing by 3 men in 1929, but also potentially because he was a very good gambler. We don't know. We love a gambler. He basically made a monumental rise during the 1920s and Prohibition. He met loads of mafia leaders, ran bootlegging operations, financed by the kingpin of the Jewish mob in New York, Arnold the Brain Rothstein.
Such an Italian name. Such an Italian name.
The Jewish mob, yeah, might be a bit of a giveaway there. Rothstein mentored Lucky for years, and by 1925, Lucky was making over $12 million a year, which is roughly £222 million today, or $22 million. Because of the mentorship that Lucky has with Arnold Rothstein, he developed seriously good management skills, great diplomacy, strong manners, and he's dressed to the nines. Like, apparently Arnold Rothstein, he famously talks about how he influences the mobsters' dress sense. Like, he's got style, and everyone wants to dress like him because he's dressed exceptionally well. He's also very ruthless, cunning, and incredibly fearless, Luciano. Lucky Luciano is an underling to Giuseppe Joe Masseria, boss of the Genovese crime family, and he begins making strong networks with other younger mobsters. And they develop this worldview that's, like I said before, very socialistic, about the bosses getting fat off their toil, and then business over ego, which I guess is not actually socialistic, but it's more like, putting bread over blood. And eventually these young names become top leaders in the mob, future mobsters like Carlo Gambino, Tommy Lucchese, and various others. And they all wanted to develop what they called this national criminal syndicate alongside Johnny Torrio, which pulled all the gang's resources into one place and ensures they all get paid.
Right. That's good.
We're going back to 1931 because we talked about Salvatore Maranzano, if you remember 5 minutes ago, because I introduced him for a second and then I missed him again to talk about Luciano because we need to introduce Luciano.
Luciano's the main guy.
Yeah, we need to talk about him before we talk about the Castellammarese War.
Okay.
So it kicks off the Castellammarese War. I did not pronounce it well.
Saying that so many times.
It kicks off. The Castellammarese War kicks off. In 1931, it's a huge power struggle for every year in New York where the families under Joe Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano have an all-out war vying for full control of the US mafia operations. I guess in that sense, they're the two biggest families, and they're both like competing for all the goods. Charlie, Lucky Luciano, switches allegiances from Masseria to Maranzano and orchestrates his former boss Masseria's assassination. And he uses hired guns of a Jewish mobster, Bugsy Siegel. Bugsy Siegel, yeah. Really famous Jewish mobster. Basically, it's like him, Mylansky, and Arnold Rothstein, like the three most famous Jewish mobsters. So he uses these Jewish mobsters because Bugsy won't know him, won't know them, so won't have his like guard up. And Luciano tells them to shoot Masseria at this restaurant in Brooklyn. They do that, and the end result is that Masseria dies, the Castellamarese War ends, and Maranzano becomes capo di tutti I capi.
The boss of all
the
bosses.
boss of all bosses. However, towards the end of 1931, Lucky begins building up his base a little bit, gets his support coming towards him. He's got extensive networks with other mobsters and realizes that Maranzano is even greedier than Masseria was. So he had a change of allegiance, a change of heart, because he thought Masseria was so greedy. And now he's realizing the new boss, the boss of all bosses, is even greedier than that guy. And as a young mobster socialist, which I'm thinking Luciano's a commie.
You actually can't, like, I swear, like the last like 7 or 8 or even 9 episodes of this podcast, you were bringing it back to socialism, even something that has nothing to do with socialism.
Do you know why, Joe? Do you know why? It's because
Zoran Mamdani won the other day, and he's
don't date the podcast. So Lucky Luciano knows that Maranzano is greedy, and Maranzano starts thinking at the same time that Lucky Luciano is getting too big for his boots. So he tries to assassinate Lucky. He fails. And then Lucky, once again, getting wind, he basically gets wind of it through other mobsters that Maranzano made an attempt in his life. And Lucky orders some Jewish gangsters, once again, to stab Maranzano, disguised as government agents, in a night known as the Night of Sicilian Vespers.
The Night of Sicilian Vespers.
So basically, he instructs them to stab him first and then shoot him. Which is, I guess, the point is to inflict some damage and make him hurt.
Yeah.
Maranzano dies, and now Lucky sets up the Commission. The Commission basically gives the bosses of all the most powerful families, the 5 families, equal say and votes over disputes and issues. This group are the ruling elite of what is called the National Crime Syndicate. The National Crime Syndicate is like the overwhelming body of like all criminal organizations that form part of the mafia, of the Cosa Nostra. Incredibly, the commission is still in existence today, and they make decisions over like disputes, over killings. Can we murder him? Can we do that? How are we going to split this big bid that we have? Everything like over the top of the heads of a simple family or a smaller branch will go up to the commission. They'll make all decisions for it, and they meet regularly to do so. The National Crime Syndicate is the overwhelming name given to it, and people like Mylansky and Bugsy Siegel, they're part of the Jewish mob, are part of the National Crime Syndicate, and I think also, I'm not entirely sure, but I think Irish gangs also form part of the National Crime Syndicate.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Well, they got their foot in the door.
I think so, potentially. So I think the National Crime Syndicate is like, let's all come together, let's not fight. We can all make so much money.
Yeah, well,
let me
it makes sense, but I'm honestly quite impressed. The one thing I've learned about the mafia is that it's extremely territorial. So like the fact that even now, to be part of the mafia proper, you need to be at least half Italian. Makes me think how that they'd really even consider a different country like that, a different country's mafia. That's
it included Irish, Italian, and Jewish descent. But that's the National Crime
trifecta,
the National Crime Syndicate.
Axis.
Yeah, the National Crime Syndicate was the brainchild of like Mylansky, and it's the brainchild of a Jewish mobster and an Italian mobster. So they're realizing that's like, this isn't just a race thing. This is not just an Italian thing. This is not just a Jewish thing, not just an Irish thing. It's much more than that. It's about all of us pooling all of our resources, all of our networks. No more fighting, just business.
What a wholesome message. You're here telling me that Catholics and Jews work together.
And exceptionally
well to make a better future for themselves and no one else.
Like,
you know, 2 people from different religions that step up and make a podcast that really, you know, you're barely gaining any information from it. You're just listening to 2 privileged white boys talk about how interesting history is and serving themselves rather than serving the people. My God, I like the sound of this.
Don't let the viewers know that the jig's up, Joe. If they realise they're getting nothing from this, then they'll stop listening.
Wow, how fascinating. I can't believe my people work with you.
Yeah, really?
If Hitler down in the deep depths of hell is up there going...
He's not alive. He's not in power yet.
Oh, but he is alive.
Yeah, he's alive. Yeah,
he's alive, and he's going, what the fuck is this crime syndicate doing? My crime syndicate is full of Aryan Germans.
I guess you could say we're essentially the mafia, Joe, or the National Crime Syndicate, because we're like you said before, we're Christian and Jewish, and we're stealing time from our lovely viewers.
Are we?
Yeah, we're taking their time without them knowing.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we are, but we're also supplying them with something, and that's, strength.
Raucous tones,
laughs, lovely beers, So really, we're supplying
enriching
them.
they're stealing from us.
Exactly.
They're stealing from us.
If anything, if you want to enjoy your time more, you should be paying us, which is why we've set up the Pint-Sized History Patreon. This week, we're setting up the Pint-Sized History Patreon, so sign up for it and pay us some money, because when Catholics and Jews work together, it always goes well.
Yeah, that we are not setting up a Patreon.
Oh, we're not?
I've
already created it. I was creating it while you were waffling away.
It's just slash Joe McKenzie.
Yeah,
that's all it is. No money is
personal fun.
You're the mafia. You're extorting me.
The last 10 minutes where you were telling me that story about nothing. I was just like this. Create Patreon. Yep. Sign in details. Okay.
Joe,
Adding. Okay. Yes.
Joe.
Sign up. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Money to a good cause, guys. Think about the subjects we could research.
He's got a wedding next year.
Well, no, but I wouldn't use it for personal gain, of course. I would use it to research topics, because it's important when you're researching stuff on the internet to have all the detail.
So if any of you do want to donate, we could buy like an actual editor that would make us be able to push out some content a lot quicker.
It would. Are you actually now trying to start voting Patreon?
We should set up a go buy me a coffee thing. That's the page.
That really fucks me off.
It's
such a cop out. It's just like, oh, give me money.
If you want to beg for fucking money, beg for fucking money.
I'll pretend I'm going to use it on a coffee. Fuck off. I hate that. It's so annoying. Oh, buy me a coffee.
You say that, but one day we might be setting one up.
No,
so don't say too much
we'll
about
never
it.
sell out to the buy me a coffee industry.
Big coffee.
Big coffee. No, fuck off. That's ridiculous. I actually feel pent up after that. You've reminded me how much I hate it.
Right,
anyway,
I said the National Crime Syndicate.
What are we talking about? The Mafia.
The Commission National Crime Syndicate are basically formed. At the head of it, there's the 5 families. And the FBI website suggests that even though they no longer possess the robust national presence they once had, they remain a significant threat in the extended New York metropolitan areas, New England, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Detroit.
East Coast.
Yes. So the 5 families are as follows. The Bonanno family. Not banana.
Not banana.
Not banana. Ring, 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 Bonanno phone. Originally called the Maranzano family after Salvatore Maranzano, it was named after Joe Bonanno in 1931. Its current boss is Michael the Nose Mancuso, and they have
name's the Nose today.
The Nose, yeah.
The current boss.
Current boss called the Nose, yeah. And they have operations.
Can we get him on the pod? Have you messaged him?
Do you reckon he has Instagram?
Yeah, he's got it. Surely Mafia these days. Oh, that's actually a really good, interesting question.
Check, yeah.
Shall we check? Surely the Mafia's got Instagram. I feel that this is dangerous ground we're stepping on now. Does the Mafia...
Michael the Nose Mancuso.
Surely. Because they've got presences. Maybe there's a fan page or something. No, I don't see anything. Do you see anything?
No, but there are videos of him on Instagram. Yeah.
Well, give me some other names that I can search up.
Okay, so Mikey the Nose Mancuso.
Mikey.
Theodore Persico Jr.
Fucking hell, Theodore what the fuck's name is that?
And I'll search up Domenico Cafalu.
You know what? We actually did go too far. I don't think he's not on it. So I do think that even today's Mafia trying to stay off Instagram.
How about this one? Liborio Salvatore Barney Bellomo. Sicilian Mafia. XOXO. Liborio Salvatore Bellomo. Luciano family. Lucky Luciano.
What, as in that is him? Confirmed?
I say it's a fan page, but one of the pictures is him with a G-Wagon and an AK-47. I think it's probably a fan account.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird that you have a fan account.
That's what I mean. It's all about image. I said this in the first podcast. If you're going to sell the Mafia, it has to be about image.
Very true. So after the Bonanno family, they're the first family. Then you've got the Colombo family. They maintain an influence in Georgia as well as other places.
The country. Wow.
So just important to say that...
Huge realm.
The Georgia Mafia are really pissed off. So it's important to say that they all have like the same area of territory. And they're like New England, Philadelphia, New Jersey, the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, Long Island. All those places are places that they all operate. But like the Bonanno family also also have Californian operations. Colombo family have Georgian operations in Atlanta, Georgia. Originally called the Profaci family after Joe Profaci, before Joseph Colombo became the boss in the 1960s for turning on his boss, Joseph Magliocco. Double C? Is that Cho or a Co?
Well, it was after the C.
O.
Co. I and E is Che. O is or A is Ka or Ko.
Okay, who alongside Joe Bonanno wants to assassinate several rivals on the commission following the first Colombo War in 1961. So Joseph Colombo is turned on Joseph Magliocco and then became the head of the Colombo family. Current boss, like I said, is Theodore Skinny Teddy Persico Jr. The Gambino family after that, initially called the Mangano family after Vincent Mangano, before Carlo Gambino became boss in 1957. After he ordered the murder of Albert Anastasia, who ordered the murders of Mangano and his brother Philip.
Lots of ordering murders here.
Yeah,
Have you ever ordered a murder? Have you considered it?
I've murdered at McDonald's.
You have. I've seen you do it, actually, yeah.
I've murdered.
Then
I
you're-
murdered a podcast.
And then you're...
I've completely murdered ours.
This
This is a pretty shit one.
dying for months.
I'm actually on orders right now.
Yeah.
So Genovese family, initially called the Luciano family after Lucky Luciano.
Yep.
Rip in peace, my G.
Yep.
Vito Genovese, they became the boss in 1957.
Yep.
And the current boss is Liborio Salvatore Barney Bellomo.
Ah, that's Bellomo.
Bellomo, yeah. And finally, the last family, last of the big five families, is the Lucchese family, or Lucchese. Lucche.
Because it's like Chiesa.
Lucchese.
Chiesa.
Okay, fine. Lucchese family. They were initially called the Gagliano family after Tommy Gagliano until Tommy Lucchese becomes boss in 1951. He succeeded Gagliano in 1951 after he died of natural causes, and Tommy Lucchese was his underboss for 2 decades, so was a natural person step up. Let's skip a little bit of time. But the 1950s, as we're at now, the Mafia have reached their peak, and not only have they taken over vast amounts of the country, but they're also moving in on Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They've taken large swathes of Las Vegas, hence Casino, the film. But by 1970s, new investors and
Godfather as well, they go to Nevada.
Oh, yeah, right, they do, yeah. And by the 1970s, though, there's loads of new investors who really want to buy places.
It kind of makes sense if you think about it. If the East Coast is full of other, not rival, but other gangs, other mafias, and you have all of the West that's kind of untouched, it's kind of like
It's not
similar
really
to...
untouched, though. There's other things there.
Not untouched,
Like,
but there's room for corruption and mafia.
Yeah. But by the 1970s, like I was saying, new investors are coming to Las Vegas and seeing the potential there, and they're buying out the mafia's casinos because they have probably more money as corporations than the mafia do. Must be close, though.
You reckon?
Yeah, but I guess if they want to make it legitimate money and get out of it, probably a good thing to do is sell your casino to a big company.
That's why casinos are so good. They're such an easy way to launder.
And apparently what they do is they would, in the back room, skim a bit off the top in the casinos. The current boss of the Lucchese family is Victor Amuso.
So you're basically explaining the 5 current families because it's still the same.
Still,
they haven't been usurped.
Same 5
if
families.
they're 5 kings, essentially, 5 kings that rule the mafia, the crime syndicate of America.
Absolutely,
the 5 of them haven't been usurped.
No, it's because their infrastructure, like it's not about
but that's interesting, isn't it? Because they could be usurped in other realms of power. Certain leaders or families or realms have been usurped. That is just how it works. So it's interesting how it hasn't happened.
All that happens is you kill the boss.
Yeah.
And then you're usurped. And then you become a different family name, but you're still essentially, you got the same infrastructure.
Yeah, but what if you killed the entire family and then, and by, a Game of Thrones, imagine you're the Boltons and you kill the Starks at the Red Wedding. Now, the current king of the Syndicate makes you the Warden of the North. That technically
have to
could
go
happen.
through the commission. The commission would never let that happen because the commission is the 5 top families.
And you can't. If one of them's touched, then you're going to go.
You're all touched.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's actually a really strong system, I guess.
Yeah. It basically means that if you're the Manchester Uniteds, the Real Madrids, the Liverpools of the crime world, you'll always be part of that European Super League.
Yeah,
you're never going to be taken out of it.
We're really just bringing it to every pop culture reference. It's like either football, Game of Thrones, or
say the little upstarts of Arsenal try and think they're the next big team and try and get themselves in the European Super League alongside Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, or AC Milan.
Upstarts.
Now, before we go anywhere further, I just want to talk briefly. About
the crime, because we've been laughing away about the mafia when in reality
it's horrible.
It's pretty shit.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about something very close to my heart, something I haven't talked about just yet, and that is the
Socialism.
Jewish mob.
Okay, so I thought you were going to say socialism. I don't know if you guys have heard, but
I don't like socialism.
Communism's
actually
bad.
It's kind of the best. Amazingly, the Jewish mob went by many names. They went by names such as the Yiddish Connection, the Jewish Mafia, unser Shtick, which is Yiddish for our thing. But the best name they went for has to be the Cosa Nostra.
That's it. That's what I was
such
thinking.
a
There's a
good
really
name.
funny there's a Jewish name for something.
And
I can't remember
that's what Jews like, man. We're just funny guys.
Yeah, Cosa Nostra is great. That's a great
They
name.
began in the 19th century in New York City by Monk Eastman, who formed the Eastman Gang, and they had like a really powerful Jewish gang competing with the Italians and the Irish for control. But the fundamental figure behind the Jewish mob is Arnold Rothstein. Like I said, the Jewish mob is not like the same as the Italian Mafia. Like it's Italian-American Mafia.
I think all the mafias are different. Different
they're not
cultures.
like they're not centralized. Like they are like there are really important figures who control gangs, bigger gangs than others, but they're not like all under. They're part of the National Crime Syndicate, but they're not like under one thumb. So in 1882, Arnold Rothstein is born in New York City to Abraham and Esther Rothstein. Esther Rothstein is an incredibly Jewish name. He's very skilled at maths, and his brother studies to become a rabbi. When he was a kid, he was a bit of a gambler, and by 28 years old, he moved to Manhattan to establish a casino. He starts fixing races, and by 30 years old, he's a millionaire. And in 1919, Arnold Rothstein allegedly played members of the Chicago White Sox to throw the World Series to the Cincinnati Reds, betting against them, making enormous profit. It was known famously as the Black Sox Scandal.
I did not know that.
In the 1919 World Series,
That's
really famous.
1990, God, so it's not even that long ago.
19.
Oh, 19.
19.
Oh. Oh, well, yeah,
He
no
was
one
born in
didn't know that.
1892. It was like in the 1920s, the Prohibition begins. He starts purchasing and moving into the bootlegging game. He smuggles from Canada into upstate New York. He makes connections in the mob, people like Meyer Lansky, like Luciano. He becomes a mediator for mafia conflicts. And this sort of transitions from pre-1920s, where the Jewish mob structure is like thuggish criminals, and he turns into this like highly organized from the top down structure. He's called the Moses of Jewish gangsters, which is another great name. He's eventually shot in 1928 over a gambling row where he owed another mobster around $5 million. He said it was fixed. And then he got murdered for it. And I think he probably had a bit of a gambling problem and might have got himself into some sticky situations. And the Jewish mob were really, really well connected. The Jewish and Italian mobsters together formed Murder Inc., which I said a bit ago. Murder Inc. acted as the enforcement arm of the National Crime Syndicate, and they were responsible for between 400 and 1,000 contract killings until they were exposed by Abe Kid Twist Relis in 1941.
Oh, that's his nickname, Kid Twist.
Yeah, Kid Twist. Abe Relis, Kid Twist, which is a stupid nickname, I think.
It is, yeah.
Unless you're like, he's good with a knife.
He twists the knife in kids.
Twist the knife in kids.
Kid Killer.
Kid Killer.
That's cool.
Kid Killer Twisty.
Yeah, what a legendary name.
Yeah. After he exposed the group, he suspiciously fell from a window.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Murder Inc. was preceded actually by the Bugs and Meyer mob, which was formed by Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel, two Jewish mobsters. Bugsy Siegel, the guy that Lucky Luciano always gets to do his killings, and Meyer Lansky, the mob's accountant. And I think it's really fascinating because I think typically in pop culture or society in general, I think Jewish people are quite often like illustrated as maybe a bit weak and like cowardly and like you think about.
So you're using the Jewish mafia as an
I'm saying,
example
like,
that they're not.
You think about like the Holocaust and the ghettos, and like I think people like when people think about like the Jews 1940, for wrong or for right, obviously wrong because
I know.
look at the social connotation of what's happening.
it.
Like, they were basically being hoarded against their will, but like people think Jewish people are kind of meek, and you have this idea that these guys are like hard as fucking nails.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I find it like it's such a paradox.
Not good people.
Terrible people.
Terrible people. God, they were hard
Kind
and
of cool. Kind of cool. I don't want to glorify what they're doing, but it's kind of sick.
You are literally glorifying what they're doing.
And now let's turn back to the larger picture about the mafia. I'm not glorifying them,
You
man.
are.
No, I'm not. No, these are all terrible people.
They
They're all
are terrible people. But they're your terrible
My
people.
brothers. How can I repudiate my brothers like this? Amen.
Yeah, that's super cool. Respect.
Yeah. So back to like the main scenarios, the main landscape around the mafia. In 1970, the RICO Act comes into force. The RICO Act basically toppled the mob.
Yeah.
Rather than attacking individuals and prosecuting individuals, which is like a Hydra situation because you take one and another head or another boss just pops up. It allows for longer punishments for like associated crimes. If you're a part of the criminal organization, they can tie you to it. You're gone. You're basically part of the charge. The commission, the big commission, the Five Family Commission, were hit with a RICO charge in February 1985, and 9 New York bosses were charged under RICO. Eventually, Time magazine called this the case of cases. Like boss of all bosses, the case of all cases.
Yeah.
And 11 members of the high command of the mafia were indicted and sentenced. Another interesting one is John Gotti, who is probably, besides like Al Capone and Lucky Luciano and Mylansky, one of the most famous mobsters of all time. Certainly in America, he is, because he was like he was known as the Dapper Don and the Teflon Don, which is a really interesting name because he had like 3 really publicly televised court cases, and he evaded he evaded the charges sticking to him, every single one. So he was called the Teflon Don,
So you just
non-stick.
Yeah, you just get away from everything.
He becomes the boss of the Gambino crime family after he murdered Paul Castellano, who was the boss at the time. And in 1991, Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano turned state witness and provides evidence to the FBI that allowed Gotti to get charged with 5 counts of murder, racketeering, tax evasion, illegal gambling, extortion, and loan sharking, as the most famous RICO case that's probably ever been brought. He got life in prison and he died of throat cancer.
So RICO really changes the game, basically.
Yeah, RICO gives the
After
FBI...
that, it's nowhere near as fun.
It gives the eye... Yeah, exactly. It's not fun, no. They're not cool. It's not fun.
Yeah.
They're kind of just... Right now, you think... Like, when you think of the Mafia 100 years ago, you think, God, they're cool. When you think of the Mafia today, you think, God, that's so sad. Like, oh, you're still in the Mafia, right?
Still a thing.
You're trying to reclaim the
All right,
past.
don't antagonize them. Because I'll get shot.
They're going to come for you. I'm Jewish mob linked up, mate.
No, you're not.
I'm a made guy.
You're the
I'm
least,
connected.
you're the least made man I've ever seen, bro.
After Gotti was in prison, the assistant director of the FBI's New York office, James Fox, announced the Teflon is gone, the Don is covered with Velcro, and all the charges stuck. And also, he was repudiated by the other families because his actions brought too much attention to the Mafia, and because he seized power too, without the commission knowing. Today, the Mafia still exist, and they do a lot of the same things they used to do back then. They're still relevant in Chicago and the Northeast, but they also share the same territory that the Russian Mafia do, the Chinese triads do, and the Mexican and South American drug cartels have stepped into, alongside a number of Balkans too.
And the Japanese, and may I say, the Italian.
The Yakuza.
The Yakuza, but also the Italian. I think it's really easy to, because of movies, to paint the Mafia as like a historical part of history, but like it's still a thing.
Yeah.
Sure, they might not be as
This
open.
is just America, though.
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, Mafia worldwide are still a thing, and they still affect things, and most of the time it's for the bad. But at the end of the day, you're not going to see it because that's the point. They're trying to be behind the scenes.
And that's about all I've got for the Mafia, Joe. But before we leave, I want to do one quick game of fact or fiction gangster edition.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a list of incredibly famous gangsters from films and TV shows, and you tell me if they're based on real life gangsters or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The first one is Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders.
Ooh, why do I feel like I saw something about this recently? He is based on a real person.
No.
Fuck.
The Peaky Blinders is based on a real gang, but he is not based on a real person. He's a loose
That's a
inspiration.
bit. There's a small difference there. Because I did think that the Shelbys were real.
The Shelbys might be real, the family, but Tommy Shelby is not a real person.
All right. So now I know it's about the person specifically. Because
that's a practice one.
There's a distinction there.
Okay. Tony Soprano.
Oh, fuck. But I haven't seen The Sopranos. I've only seen a bit of the first season.
I'm guessing you can hazard a guess.
I'm going to say no.
Fact. He's based on Vincent Vinny Ocean Palermo, a former boss of the De Cavalcante crime family.
Okay, come on, I can get one.
Vito Corleone.
Now, technically, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and you pointed out that it wasn't based on the person that I was suggesting, but he is based on someone.
Yep. Okay. Fact. He's based on Joe Bonanno. Of the Banana Crime Family.
So that's
and interestingly, Barzini, who I don't know if you remember, is the antagonist from Godfather 1. He is based on Vito Genovese.
Oh, wow. So the both of them.
Yep. Avon Barksdale from famous television series The Wire.
The Wire. I'm going to say yes.
Yep, he is. He's based on Melvin Williams, a drug dealer from Baltimore.
Interesting. What about Idris Elba's character?
I don't think he is. I think he's fiction.
No, he's fiction, yeah.
Great character.
Best character in the show.
Now, here's a three-piece from the Goodfellas. Tommy DeVito, James Conway, and Henry Hill. Played by Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and Ray Liotta, in that order.
Ooh, so I have to guess on all three. I think that Joe Pesci's character is... I was going to say he's not real, but actually he's a caricature of someone that's real. He is real.
Yep.
Robert De Niro's character...
I'm not trying to trip you up here.
Robert De Niro's character is real.
Yep.
Ray Liotta's character, what was his Ray Liotta's?
Henry Hill.
Is not real.
You're wrong.
Fuck, they're all three are real.
They're all real. Henry Hill is like the most famous one. Henry Hill is like he's like really well known for because like being real in that film. But yeah, he's a I guess Irish gangster. Tony Montana, played by Al Pacino in the film Scarface.
Ooh, I'm gonna say no.
Not real.
Not
No.
real. That's
But based on,
he's too ridiculous.
based on like the life stories of Cuban
yeah,
immigrants
he's
in
too
the UK,
that. Yeah.
Sam Rosenthal and Nicky Santoro, played by Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci in the film Casino.
Casino. I'm actually gonna say not real.
Both real.
Oh fuck.
Frank Lefty Rosenthal is who Robert De Niro plays. He was one of the associates of the mob who went to check on the casinos, how they're being run.
Right.
And Anthony Spilotro was Nicky Santoro. He's a mob enforcer, basically. Nucky Thompson, Boardwalk Empire, played by Steve Buscemi.
Yes, that one I know is real because you said
I said earlier today.
that he was the famous of the mayor being the mayor of that place.
And the final one is Fat Tony from The Simpsons.
Not real.
Not real.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
Cool.
thank you very much.
For a second, I thought I was about to fuck that one up.
Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, that's
you
good.
did do great.
Quiz at the
You
end.
did
I
great.
actually did all right. I brought it around. I was a bit
You
worried
brought
at
it
the
around at
beginning,
the
but
end.
I actually did bring it around. Thank you very much. That was very enjoyable. How do you feel?
I felt good. I was.
Did you enjoy
really,
researching it?
I really did. I think that was the issue. Was I wasn't feeling comfortable researching the other topic I was going to research.
I didn't know what Zack was going to do until today, but what I did know was that he was considering doing Mussolini and the rise of fascism in Italy, and he was also considering doing the Roman Empire. So I can't help but notice that they're on a bit of an Italian theme at the moment.
Yeah, you're right.
What's going on there? You've got three Italian subjects all in a row.
I was going to touch Roman Empire, and I was like, this is too big because I left it quite late to research.
That's a
it.
3-4 part.
Yeah, that is. We got to give like an 8-hour filming session for that, and like we could do it all in one day. I think Italy is just incredibly interesting. What a rich culture and history.
So I can't help but notice that you clearly love Italy, but you somehow don't really express that to my poor fiance. You more take the piss out of her accent.
No,
so I
are you
hope
joking?
now,
No, that's
after
not
learning
right.
a bit
That's
more
not
about the
right.
mafia and the Roman Empire, you think, you know what, B, your people are all right.
Beatrice, you are my favorite person in the world, and I adore you immensely.
Okay, well, we're going to end.
Mi amore, capo di tutti I capi in my brain.
Let's end this podcast with Zack
Thanks for
declaring
watching.
his unrelenting love for my fiance. Great. Have a lovely time. We'll see you in the next episode,
See you later,
whatever it
guys.
is.
Bye.
Bye-bye.